Hi friends, Sophia here, offering you a short but sweet, deep-seated stretch. So know that this is a little bit more advanced. If you don't have a lot of flexibility, it's probably best to start with my standing stretch routine and then get those hips open enough so that you can sit comfortably on the floor. For those of you that have that mobility, welcome. So let's open the hips, open the torso, open the shoulders, and give ourselves that sense of spaciousness that a good stretch can bring. You want to have a bolster or two and a couple of blocks to help you along the way. It's always great to have props. So gather those and come back and join me. We'll begin today with an opener for the hips. One of my favorite ways to start a practice, because not only does it give the hips some attention, it really helps to quiet the mind. So I'm going to turn sideways. You can see my alignment. And you may choose to sit on a bolster or two. I'm just going to sit on a small one. I don't like to lift my hips too much for this one, but you'll find your comfort zone. Bringing the soles of the feet together. You want to make sure that whatever you're sitting on, you're right on the edge, so we can allow the pelvis to drop forward. So pubic bone away from the navel. So there's a little forward action on your lower back as opposed to sinking back. So drop in. And then from there, the feet don't need to be close to the pelvis. You can choose the distance as you feel how your body responds. And let's just start with hands somewhere between the knees and the ankles. Relax your shoulders down your back, your shoulder blades. And then gently lift through the length of your spine. Start to really feel into what is present in your body today. What kind of feedback are you gaining? So let's take some deep breaths here and just settle into the moment. Open to receive the gifts of yoga. Address this practice with reverence, an open heart, and a quiet mind. Dropping the chin slightly towards the throat, lowering the head to the heart, and then just start to lean your body weight forward from the pelvis. And as you do that, then you can start to change your hand position, your arm position, so your shoulders feel open. Let your head begin to sink, but at the same time, think of it drawing towards your toes. So avoid pulling back. You want to let your body weight move forward. You might choose your forearms on your legs for support. We're just going to let the head dangle. This allows the neck to stretch. Let your spine dangle. If you go far enough, you might want your hands on the floor in front of the legs. So just close your eyes. And with this intention of rounding the spine towards a little dropped in, kind of like a turtle pose. Let it expand into that in a moment. But right now, just dropping in deep, feeling the roundness of your back. Notice how your hips feel, moving into the groin area, letting the legs softly release with the weight of the bones. And you certainly don't have to be this low. Some of you may be more upright in this pose. So don't compare, just feel into your own body. And find a place of contentment. And then we're going to stay and take several full deep breaths. And if you would, feel the breath come into your body and draw it in towards your kidneys, your lower back ribs. Let that area open with your breath. And then each time you exhale, just notice where you can let go. Let go of the neck. Let go of the shoulders. Let go of the spine. Let go in your hips. Let go in your toes. And let go in your mind. Be curious and simply listen and feel to what arises moment by moment. Enjoy the stillness. And if you're lucky enough, like me today, enjoy the quietude. Just a sweet, distant sound of the jungle, the birds, the monkeys, and a gentle breeze. And if there are extraneous sounds in your environment, be sure and tap into your own breath. Let that be your key focus, and let the sounds move around you. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Enjoy each one. Notice if you want to come out of the pose slightly or drop in a little deeper. And then in your last breath, notice if there's a sense of wanting to stay longer. Take note of that. You could always do that. Together we're going to come up at this point, unless you put the video on pause and just stay. Otherwise, put your hands underneath your shoulders. Leave your head down, chin to throat, and slowly come up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And the last thing to come up is the head. Feel that. And then just gently turn the head to release the neck. Turn the other direction. Sit nice and tall and slowly let your eyes open. Now, lean back and bring the soles of your feet together. The knees together. The soles of the feet were together. We're just going to lean back a little bit, supporting your spine. Step your feet about shoulder width apart and just rock the knees right to left, just to give those hips a little release after that deep stretch. Okay, this time we're going to straighten one leg, and I like to come off the blanket or bolster on this one. You might want to stay seated upon something, and then taking the opposite leg and bend it. Now, for me, this knee doesn't go all the way down. I have a little skier's knee, so I'm going to support it with a block just so it can really relax. So if your knee's not all the way to the ground, give it some support. And here we're going to actually turn away from the straight leg, bring the other hand behind you, and turning your belly, your ribs, your chest. Take a breath and get tall. And then as you exhale, really let your collarbones broaden. Draw the shoulder blades up towards your heart. And then turn from the neck as well. Feel that rotation of the spine. Let's take a few breaths here. We're just preparing for a little twisted pose. It's going to go further than this. So you may choose to stay right here, but I invite you to begin to lengthen towards the straight leg, out towards the foot. Let your head drop towards the shoulder. So you're going to get a stretch through the side of the neck. You're letting the elbow bend onto the thigh. Maybe even bend the elbow this way. Okay. Let the head drop. Your spine is laterally flexing, so you're getting a side bend. The other thing you can do is bring a block underneath you, put your forearm there, and even rest your head on your hand if you want to support your neck. Placing the back hand on the pelvis, sink down in that hip, and you're going to get a nice deep opening through the side body into the area what's known as your quadratus lumbarum, that lower back area. So go right up against that first point of resistance. Don't force anything. Just allow your body to sink in, breathe. Relax the straight leg. So this is a more yin practice, a softer opening. Option with that back hand is to take it up overhead. Maybe just prop it on your head. It's going to open further into the shoulder region. If that doesn't feel right, put it back down on the hip. Once you're in the shape that works for you, close your eyes, look inside, breathe, and be. And continue feeling and listening so you can make slight refinements. I have a little bit, my lower shoulder was kind of tight, so I'm moving my elbow further away to open the shoulder girdle. Really trust your body's wisdom. What is it telling you? What little incremental movements can you make to feel that much more comfortable? Trust that inner guidance. And continue bringing that breath deep into your body to those spaces of sensation. Releasing out the back of the throat through the mouth is another way of releasing unnecessary effort and tension. Let's enjoy 3 more breaths here. Noticing your state of mind. Is the mind willing to just listen and observe without judgment or comparison or dropping back into your future or your past? Let's just be present. As we transition to the next form, we're going to take the top arm down slowly and place it on the floor next to your straight leg. Then drop your chin to your throat, turning your face towards the earth. So we're going to keep the neck released. From here, as I put my other hand on the other side of the straight leg, I'm going to lift a little bit to rotate the torso over the straight leg. So here again, you might want to come up a little further. And then some of you might be able to drop a little deeper. So just feel where your body's willing to go with an effort of kind of leveling the pelvis and evening the muscles across your back. So you're not twisting now, you're squaring off. Dropping the weight of the head. Keeping your hands either under your shoulders, or for those of you that have more mobility, you could walk towards the foot. A few might be able to reach the foot and flare the elbows. And come into that half forward fold at whatever level feels best to you. Surrender and breathe. Let your body respond to the openings that you are creating. Feel the fluidity of your breath, creating a softness in your tissues, shoulders, spine. Ease your way into the form. A few more breaths. Notice you're developing patience. As you remain in the form, your body has the opportunity to let go of those spaces that might be holding on a little too tight. Soften instead. Feeling that last breath or two, draw your hands right under your shoulders. Again, leave the head down, chin to throat. Slowly curl up. Drawing the head over the shoulders. Releasing. Okay. Now we have another side. So right away we're going to straighten that leg. I'm just going to shift so that my heel, it's kind of nice if you have a hardwood floor, it's nice to get your foot on your mat for support, for a little softening. You can have that. Now see, on this side, my knee goes all the way down. So we're not created equal, in this way at least. So this knee obviously worked harder in my ski life. This leg's coming down. And I'm going to put this block right here in case I want it for my elbow. Set yourself up. Notice what you're feeling. We're going to turn slowly towards the bent knee. Hands on the ground for support. Turn from the belly. Now as you turn, keep that back hip down. Turn from the belly and the ribs, the chest and the neck. Nice deep breaths, getting tall through the spine. And get a sense that you're leveling your ears. There's a tendency to crank the neck one way or the other. Be level. So the evenness of the neck opens up those cervical vertebrae. Yeah, you could even take your hand to the knee for a little extra support. We're taking our time here today, moving slow, deep stretch. One more breath here, and then slowly unwind. So the key here is slow. If you are a very active person, if you have a pitta personality, a fiery personality, this could be a big challenge for you. And that's a good thing, okay? It's a good challenge to slow down your mind, drop into the moment. So we're going to keep facing towards the bent knee and take the hand down the leg. Drop the ear towards the shoulder. There you go, opening the neck. And start to curl your spine over. Side bending. So again, forearm can just drop onto the thigh or the shin. Turn the head right to left. See where your neck is comfortable. Option. Elbow on the block. Some of you might have to have it even closer. I know this was the first pose I learned in yoga that was very, very difficult for me. I didn't have a lot of mobility in my side body. I could not do this. I could barely go to the side. So if that's you, just start where you're at. Slowly and surely, just holding those spaces open to give them freedom. If you're a little bit more open, you can drop your head onto your hand, kind of a thinker's pose. Drop in. Adjust the head and neck for comfort. Press down on that back hip. That'll further create spaciousness between the pelvis and the ribs. If you have any lower back discomfort, this is a really great way to open it up by opening your side body rather than stretching your back body. Stretch your side body. And if you'd like to change the back arm, you could bring it up overhead. Find a way to put the weight of your arm on your head so it's just hanging, it's supported and not just hanging. And breathe into that side body. For those of you that have a little more mobility, you could reach for the foot, drop your forearm onto the leg. Maybe take the arm overhead. Now this is a lot. Remember, it took me years to get here. So, if you have that mobility, then do this. And if you don't, do what you can do. Last few breaths. And then we're going to transition slowly, reversing out of the pose you got, the way you got into it. So the top arm comes down, place it on the floor, turning your torso towards the straight leg. Lift up enough to really turn the belly and square the shoulders. And then just release gently there in a full forward bend, or half forward fold it's called. Janu Shirshasana, which means head of knee. So you're leaning out over the head of your knee. Soften into a gentle forward bend, and then if it's available, you can go deeper. Okay. There's not a goal. The goal is not how far you go into the pose, it's how you feel in the pose. You want to find that just right, welcoming sensation. Opening up the backside from heel to hip and hip to head. It's a lot. Let your breath be your guide. One more breath or two. Hug into yourself. And then bring the hands under your shoulders to slowly draw up. All right. Noticing how your brain waves are slowing down. That's what you want to be feeling. So we've opened the back body quite a bit. We opened the side body. Let's finish up this slow, deep stretch series with a chest opener. Open the front body. So here's where it really helps to have either 2 blankets or 2 small bolsters. I'm going to put it lengthwise. If you have a blanket, just fold it into this shape. Okay? And then a second one underneath the knees. So I'll move my blocks out of the way. I want to show you something just in case some of you that might have some tight shoulders might need a little something else for your head. You might have a third blanket or bolster, not bolster but blanket. I'll show you why. So first of all, legs comfortably over the bolster. Get that just right placement under the knees. It's a little too low. I want my calves kind of hanging off. And then I have my forearms on the top one on purpose because we want that one to be from the waistline to the shoulder blades so that the arm bones needs to be low enough so your shoulders drop over the top one and then drop back. Now this is a pretty small bolster, so it's easy to put my head down. If you have a bigger lift and your chin is up like this, then you would take another blanket or bolster and put that under your head because you really want your forehead and your chin level or your forehead slightly higher than the chin. Okay, not the chin higher. So I'm going to just drop mine straight down. Let the arms open. You've got options on what kind of angle to put on the shoulder girdle in. And then open the legs maybe a little bit more. Let the feet roll away from each other. Allow the hips to open. Feel the weight of the pelvis on the ground. Maybe tuck the tail under a little and get those hips cozy. You want to feel fully supported through your thoracic spine from your shoulder blades down to your waistline, down to your sacrum. And then you're going to stay here and just breathe into the whole opening in the front side of the body. A very gentle back bend. So this one's not as deep. to start, but as you stay in the pose, which you're going to stay for a bit, a couple of minutes, and you could stay here for 20 minutes if you want. But together today, we'll just stay for a few nice, full, deep breaths and just feel what's happening as your arms draw back, your shoulders are opening. Excellent for tight shoulders, especially if you have a desk job or you drive a lot. Whenever your arms are out in front of you, your shoulders tend around, so you want to take those arms back and give the chest an opportunity to open and the back muscles to just soften inwardly. Let the shoulder blades rest up against the heart. Breathe into that heart space. Feel your chest expand with your breath. And then notice that gentle curve all the way through the rib cage, the thoracic spine, down into the lumbar spine. And let your next few breaths pull all the way down into base of your ribs, letting that diaphragm muscle really expand and press a little bit into your abdomen. This is an excellent massage for your internal organs. And as you breathe deeply and evenly, just get a sense of the weight of your legs melting into the ground, softening the knees over the bolster, allowing the ankles and the feet and the toes to relax. And then use your imagination and imagine drawing your breath in through the tips of your toes, pulling that breath up through the length of your legs as you inhale all the way up through the torso, all the way up into the crown of the head, filling yourself up. And then as you exhale, let that breath descend and just exhale, washing a sense of ease down through your whole body and out your toes. Just take a few breaths like that. Inhaling all the way up through your body. And exhaling all the way down. Now let your lips touch softly and let go of controlling the breath, and just take a few moments here to allow your body to breathe itself, to simply witness your own aliveness. Having moved in many directions, opened up pockets of tension, now you have spaciousness. And in that spaciousness, you can relax and receive all the benefit of your efforts. Feel free to rest here as long as you would like. If it's the end of the day, it's a great way to just drift off into a little dreamland for a bit. When you are ready to complete the practice, enjoy those final breaths. Letting your awareness scan through your body, just noticing where you feel relaxed and at ease, invigorated, awakened. Roll your head right to left. Then roll your head to one side and bending the knees, putting the feet on the floor, roll to that side, placing your head on your lower arm. A few breaths in this side lying position. Maintaining that quietude you've created in your nervous system. And then placing the top hand on the floor, turn your face towards the ground so as you come up, you're just letting the head hang. Keeps the nervous system relaxed. Find your way up to a comfortable seat. You can use your blankets and bolsters to support you. This is the final pose, just sitting comfortably so you can feel the results of your practice. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel refreshed and relaxed. Place the palms together at the heart. Be grateful for the time you've gifted to your own health and well-being. Let me know how this feels to you. Be sure and subscribe so we can come together again. And let's live our yoga. Namaste.